Capricorn. Capricorn in the year 2022. What does the year 2022 have in store for you? A year of maybe anticipating the worst. Looking to the horizon for what's next and being a little stressed about it. But good news is that some past efforts that you've been juggling to keep afloat are cause for celebration. So, beginning with how you're thinking and what you're mostly focused on in the year 2022. There's a wish come true happening with you, and you might be a little bit timid about sharing this news with other people in your life. Maybe this kind of thing doesn't happen to you very often, and maybe you're afraid that it won't be received well by others. Or the messages that you deliver in the year might not be received well. In terms of what you're looking for that's coming next in your life. So very strange. I see you being smug about some news that you receive this year. I'm going to move on from that, and we'll get back to it. In your second house of your beliefs, values, and your resources, I see you valuing impulsivity more this year. Not typically your thing, but I see you valuing taking action on or getting away from any squabbles or struggles that you've had financially, with your resources, maybe other people's values versus your own, any squabbles to do with that, and cutting off or putting a cessation to a lot of incoming information. So there's just less distractions for you. And I think that because there's less distractions, you find your balance and are able to bring together two parts of yourself, your shadow aspects of yourself, which are the more challenging aspects of your personality, and possibly others. There's no need to communicate with others. I see you turning your back on almost dealing with other people at this point, or at least having cut off people or turned your back to people of the past and their opinions. And from that lack of communication, there is movement in your life in a way that normally doesn't have it. Movement in finances, movements in your values of things. And because of this movement, because of this harnessing of the difficulties with your resources or your beliefs, challenges in those areas, there's a victory. And that victory comes from following a set of guidelines, following another's dogma, tradition, learning a passed down tradition. Could have to do with spirituality, metaphysics, something that you can, that has an oral tradition. There's oral traditions here. There's ancestry here. You're valuing your ancestry, your father's lineage. The father's lineage could bring financial abundance in some way. Whether that be a car that's passed down to you, whether that be some value system that teaches you self-discipline in your finances or your beliefs and your resources in order to obtain a new financial beginning for yourself through the traditions of someone else. This could be a leader of an organization granting you a stipend, a gift of money, somebody you see as a father figure giving you resources in order to obtain a vehicle, to squash some kind of financial or there is a fleeting or impulsivity here that I see. Someone could have been upset that you had left a situation abruptly, but not have communicated this to you. And when you two come together, or there is movement finally after this situation happens, there could be some information that is passed down or some kind of tangible physical thing that you have gained from somebody else. This could be a genetic trait. You value, oh, I don't have this genetic marker for this disease. This could be a skill or a gift. From way back in your family line, that a talent that you weren't aware of, that was hidden, that is passed down through the family line. There could have been a car that you didn't know about, or the car was sold for some money and you didn't know it was coming to you, or there was a fight about where this money would go when you weren't around, and you realize that it's meant for you. It's a very interesting dynamic here. I'll try to come back to it. You're thinking and communicating this year harmoniously. Your words kind of are captivating people this year in one way or another. You could be somebody who is starting to see both sides of a lot of stories in your life, and you're really able to get a good, secure grip on the whole picture. I see you really making some big decisions on concepts that you haven't been able to decide whether you're for or against this year. I see you making big decisions on who you want to partner with, or who you're thinking about partnering with in your life, and what you think relationships really hold in this life, or what value they hold in this life. I see you seeing there are two sides to every coin, and understanding that, but knowing that you must make a decision sometimes between which side of the coin you're on. There's a lot about coins here. So some of you may collect coins. Some of you may have a family lineage where your family member collected coins and you were inheriting those coins. I see maybe a gold artifact or item that's been passed down, that's old, that's been found. I see you taking something that is two-sided and making a face to it, or putting a face with it. So there's me and this other person, and we're in a relationship. I see you seeing the relationship as two separate entities operating as one, and how to conceptualize that in your mind and figure out how that works for you. I see you thinking about what security is and what decisions will grant you the most security, you personally, what you value, what is security to you, and how much value does it hold. I also see you having a big financial win this year that may allow you to be able to wrap your mind around that a little easier. Taking what you know and making that work for what you don't know, and filling in the gaps with a motivation to drive yourself forward, follow a path, and in doing that, creating harmony, balance, and attaining material success from other people's resources or from the past work of your own. In the fourth house, I see you accepting something beautiful. Accepting maybe the love that you got in your childhood. Accepting it, but not forgetting it. I see bringing dreams down into reality, making them abundant and beautiful in your tangible day-to-day life at home. I see you watching film and becoming I see acceptance of childhood trauma, whatever it was in the past. I see you accepting your past. And in doing that, feeling gracious and abundant in the now. You may very well be accepting the gift of mothering, of being a mother, when in the past you didn't think that was something that you wanted. You may very well, this card in the upright sometimes can be about being bored or being distracted or daydreaming about what could be and not seeing what is here, or being offered something and being focused on something else. It can be so many different variables of those types of things. So it can also be a gift, and it can be, I see it in the reverse as being a recognizing a gift from the universe. And I always see this card as her, I know she's holding a rod, but I always just kind of, it's like I always see a bouquet of flowers here. And it's like you are accepting the love that you received in the past, in your upbringing. You're not forgetting things, but you're willing to see the beauty that came of all of that and the abundance that it's leading you to and that is in your now. It's also the acceptance of help in terms of a female in your life, a very important motherly figure in your life. Or accepting the loss of love or the lack of love that came from that situation, and knowing that it doesn't affect how abundant you feel in terms of love you give in the now. Realizing that we aren't the love we receive in this life. We are the love that we give. And sometimes knowing that is enough to fill our life with the most beautiful and magical things. And that we can be our own mother. This might be accepting what was once not something we wanted being something that we're willing to accept. So we are accepting the love of a mother, or not willing to accept something, a gift from somebody. In the home or in the family. Not wanting to accept the love offerings of a mother figure in the family. Or there being an element of, instead of accepting, we are giving that love. Could very well be possible. And that's a gift in itself. Just to know that we have someone that loves and cares for us, or that we can share that love that we didn't have. It comes from a different place because we didn't have it growing up, or we didn't have that abundance in the home because our family struggled. We have, with the Empress, we have an inner well of abundance, of love, and all those luxuries of Venusian qualities of life. And we're bringing that into the home. So instead of being distracted by superficial things that sometimes Venus can be portrayed as, Venusian qualities, we are getting grounded about those things and seeing the beauty in the simple things in life. I see in your love life, if you have a family, your family will be sharing in your creative and projects in your love life this year. You will be sharing your loved one with your with your family this year. You'll be introducing them. They may be introducing you to your family, or they may be introducing you to their family. And it seems, if I'm reading this in an empathic way, that their family will jive with you more than they do with their family. You will be that extension that will be embraced and loved. There may be a spiritual gift that is passed down through the matriarchal family, the matriarchal lineage in your family, that you receive this year. Not something physical that you can hold in your hand. It's not going to be wrapped in a pretty present. It's going to be something that your ancestors and your spirit guides and your angels, whatever you believe, has finally seen that you've made a progression, and that gift will be handed down to you through your lineage, spiritually. Examples, the gift of sight, the gift of sound, the gift of, being able to spiritually hear, to spiritually see. Discernment will be strengthened. You could have, we're getting a little more woo-woo with it, clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, all those things. There's so many of them. You can look them up online. Spiritual gifts, etc. Types of spiritual gifts. But I see that being something. I see you accepting motherhood in your family now. So I see you stepping up, and taking a role of mother within the family this year, more so than you have been, or for the first time, this is now the spotlight is on you, and the stairs roll out, and you step up to that podium, the plate. You're up to bat for that position in the family. This may be a tradition that you'll be hosting. Yes, you could be hosting the holidays this year at your house for the first time. All right, I'm going to move on. Again, with the family, accepting you from your partner's family. If that is, you'll be fine, and you almost have to, kind of keep them at bay, because they'll be coming at you from all ends, in a good way. I see any kind of creative collaborations this year, especially within partnership. If you and your partner have a creative project you work on, this will lead to abundance, major abundance. I'm not going to get too much more into that, because I want to continue on to the 6th house. Day-to-day routine, work life. You're going to have a more harmonious connections within work collaborations. And they're going to come from a genuine, compassionate, and emotionally balanced place. So you will be teaming up with very creative and inspiring people who are compassionate and care about other people this year. And that will be something that I see may lead down a positive new road for you in terms of, well, we'll get down there in a little bit. I see there being a friendship bond with somebody you work with, and really developing a close relationship with that, and there being a psychic bond between the two of you. This person could be Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces, but neither of that matters, or Leo. Leo, Gemini, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Excuse me. Yeah, I see there being a really nice bond there. And be more of a spiritual bond. I see that this person may be a little psychic. They might like know, you won't even have to communicate with them eventually. You'll be able to read each other pretty well. Very cool bond. And you can probably talk to this person about anything that stresses you out this year. About your hopes and aspirations, about things that stress you out, about just your goals. In the 7th house of relationships, I see any kind of over idealistic approach, any rose tinted glasses, anything that was going slow and methodical. I see those things changing. I see you seeing somebody in a 360 instead of a 2D. I see things moving forward much faster than they were. And not having a lot of time to rest or to kind of be alone with your thoughts. I think you're going to be considering the other person as a part of your day-to-day dynamic. And there might be a few moments where you might want to really take some time just for yourself, because we are separate, but we are the same in relation, especially in, monogamous, that traditional sense of a relationship, me plus you equals 2, but 1 at the same time. So I feel like you may want to make some time for some fun with your partner. It's a wish come true. You will be happy. There might be a little bit of bickering and some compromise needed this year, but overall, I see you guys needing to have fun, interact, maybe go bowling, if that's what you consider fun. It's different for everybody, but you might not have as much time to take your time with each other. So you might want to, there may be more planning involved. There might need to be hey, so I'm off Thursday, but you work at 6, so let's make some time for each other. It's like a cutting out of time. It's really working to make that special time together. There are going to be a lot of options to emotionally fulfill your plate, and there's going to be a lot of things. You're going to see your partner's shadow this year. Not in a bad way, just you're going to see the parts of them that are their challenges and your challenges sometimes. And that's okay. You got yours, they got theirs. As long as you can live with it and you both can integrate it, it's not a big deal. 8th house. Eighth house, ancestrage. Sounds like ostrich. For some reason, that's so funny. Somebody has a German background that I'm picking up. German background would probably be the moon in Capricorn. Anyway. It just popped in there for some reason. I see you learning something that's been a tradition in your family for a very long time, and it being a new thing for you. So are you learning German? That would be something that would be third house. Sun in Capricorn. Gemini. The duality. Reminds me of literature, though, this card. Very well, you could be learning a language that's new to you, but not to your family. So your family lineage. So you might be like a third generation of some background, and you're finally starting to learn the language properly in school. You might be learning this from a family member that's older than you. I see this being something that you might not have known about before that you are learning now. This could be a piece of the family history that you finally come into because you do some digging and find out that you're part German, or you find out you're Jewish, or you find out something about your past. And there's something tangible for you to dig and maybe hold in your hand. Maybe there's like an artifact or something, some heirloom or something that has some information on it, and that's when you start digging and you find out all this information. I see it being a sweet find. I think it will be really awesome to get to know yourself and your ancestors better through a piece of their history. And it could be, you could find it somebody could have been in the army or been involved in transportation in the army, like some kind of driving a tank, or driving a tank. Oh wow, that so makes sense. There's some piece of history for somebody out there about that their family is going to find, or they're going to pass down some kind of old photo or something of and they didn't know that their grandfather drove a tank and was in a war. Somebody in an old patriarchal figure in your family could be passing down an heirloom that belonged to a patriarchal figure from way back that was in a war or fought in a war. Very interesting. All right. Moving on to the 9th house. I see you turning away from any beliefs, spiritual beliefs that you have this year that don't serve you anymore. And standing more in your power. And this is going to sound kind of silly to some of you, but this was an important part of my spiritual development, especially many, many years ago when I was raised Catholic. So you might be turning your back on, this is just an example, and I'm not downing anybody's spiritual or religious beliefs, so please don't take offense to this. I just don't have any other way of wording it. Sometimes I have a hard time finding the words. I think you guys can probably pick that up from when it's the way I channel, it's the way I do things. I see somebody turning their back on a belief that reminds me of when I was younger and I was told by somebody who was in the same religion as me that the animals don't go to heaven, or the same heaven that humans do, and that we can't visit with them. There was a debate about this. And you being like, I don't believe that. I think that's a crock of baloney, or that doesn't resonate for me, and I'm not going to take that, and standing in your power about that. You're changing your beliefs about something, and in doing so, it makes you feel more in your own confidence. Like you feel confident in your spiritual beliefs. Like it's something that you can, that feels right to you now. That you can express yourself comfortably within the context of your beliefs. So releasing what doesn't emotionally serve you anymore in order to obtain some kind of personal power from it, or confidence in, whether that's a confidence and security within yourself, that makes you feel comfortable and at home within yourself. There might be a trip that you go on this year, and it's very empowering for you. And I'm seeing, for some silly reason, I'm seeing Joan of Arc. I don't know why. I think it's just something there. Joan of Arc. So a woman, a powerful woman in history, or a woman. Bad girls or good girls rarely make history type situation. Somebody who fought the system. This would be somebody who was. You might be visiting some kind of museum or something that has to do with this. There's a bravery here, and there's a female archetype. Or you could be taking a trip and doing something that's a little out of your comfort zone, or maybe makes you feel very, in your power to experience this culture shock, or this, some people might say, oh, that's dangerous, like skydiving or something. Not that I'm specifically seeing that, but maybe that is something coming up for you. Very well could be, actually, now that I look over. Let's see. You might go on a trip and then go to a spot and you're like, it's just some place you wanted to visit or something on the trip, and be like, oh no, and you find something else that's like so much more, it's not as touristy, that really like makes you feel fired up and have a good time. Be careful of the traditions of those people. You would want to follow their protocol culturally. Especially if you're a woman, unfortunately, in some places. It's not always safe, but I see that being interesting. I see someone playing guitar. Flute. So you might be going to some kind of music festival where it's outside at night, and maybe it's a woman festival, woman's celebration. Oh my gosh, I just watched a documentary, and it had the name of this huge kind of music festival every year that I forget the name of it. It's too late. I'm spacing on it. Sorry, everybody. I'm sure you guys can figure it out, though. It's female empowerment music festival. Anyway. Or taking a trip with the girls to go to a music festival. Or your friends. In the 10th house of career, I see. Some news coming in that you don't necessarily know how or where it's coming from. This might be because it's been passed down orally through the coffers of your work establishment, but maybe causing you some stress or feelings of that you can't get out of a situation, like you're not going to be able to foresee your way out of a situation. And knowing you, being Capricorn, I don't see that you won't be able to navigate your career sector. I also see hide and seek. So some of you might be starting a daycare center, being a teacher. You might be a teacher, and I also see that game we used to play when we were really little, Midnight, where kids would line up on one opposite end of the yard or schoolyard, and then one kid would face opposite them, so they would be facing the one kid's back, and the kid would say, all the kids would yell, "What time is it?" And the kid would give a time, yell out a time, like, and if the guy yelled midnight or the girl yelled midnight, then they would immediately turn around and chase you, and you would have to run back to your post, and if you were tagged, you became the person who had to stand there and count. Or whatever. That was a terrible explanation, but I see almost a playfulness in not knowing, so there might be something exciting, an exciting surprise in career this year that there's unknown twists and turns, like you might hear something coming from down the road, like about a change or some kind of shocking thing, or about somebody leaving that could have been higher ranking, and you're kind of feeling a little bit like, oh my God, like frozen about, like, oh my God, that might mean that I'm getting that supervisor position, promotion, CEO, whatever you do. This is looking out at the world and seeing a blank slate and so many things that could potentials. So you're looking to build some security for yourself, and you're seeing what is the next pillar in action that you need to take, or next route you need to take. You're looking for partnership and collaboration that's going to help facilitate a motivation or a new path, a new direction within the scheme of things in your life. So, and also being stressed about it. So there might be news that's about planning some future plans that may not be going as expected, or might be keeping you up at night, and the waiting game is really driving you nuts. So maybe that's what this is talking about in terms of career. You're just anticipating the worst, or because it's almost like in career you start off with the 8 and then you end up with the 9 as your overall. So it's just overall a bunch of worry in your head. Like the 9 of Swords is the worry about the worst thing and the not being able to sleep at night, and then the almost physical effects of stress on the body at times and the mind. But the 8 of Swords is more of like, you can't, it's like a paralyzing due to fear or the inability to see a way out of a situation, even though you're not as tied up as you think you are. Like if you really try to get a different perspective on the situation, or take a deep breath and really kind of gather yourself, try to gain some clarity from a different angle, you would see that you can get out of this confinement or restriction. So maybe you're worried about your department getting closed down or something because there's a rumor, and it would be from somebody who is younger than you, starting a rumor, or I don't know, there is something that is making you feel a little bit stuck at work, some news, but it also might be something that wakes you up out of being stuck. Like there might be some news that says that you're getting a promotion. Each one of you is going to be different. I see someone talking to her or yelling to her, and her almost like just getting up and moving forward and leaving this emotionally stagnant and unfulfilling position for a higher position with better pay that makes her feel more confident. Might be traveling more, long distances for work. The Hierophant's also a leader in an organization as well, so learning the ropes of how we do things here in this new department where there might be travel involved. So I wouldn't get too worried about it. And whatever it is, if it's reflecting down here as much as it is up there, it's an accepting an offer that leads to abundance. So I wouldn't worry at all about it. I would anticipate good news and look at things from the positive. Associations, 11th house. I see you having a lot of friends this year. I see you having a lot of interactions with a lot of friends this year, and associations, work associations, collabs, new friends, that one person that you feel emotionally connected to in your day-to-day life or work. I see you almost having to like kind of fight over the calendar for time for yourself, maybe a little bit, and your partner, and time for your specific people in your life. Like, I need this day to do this with this person, but this person wants to do it. It's just, I also see if you have children, your children's friends are going to be more demanding. Meaning, like, not that they'll be demanding, but your children's schedules will also be very demanding. They may have a lot more friends and associations from daycare or play dates and things that are going on, that might lead you, and they might be, trying to get your attention a lot. Well, and if you work from home, you will have them constantly interrupting, so you might have to get a good schedule with that, or find some sacred time, or figure out a way to balance that out. But that's a good thing, right? That's a good thing. Looking out to the horizons and planning new things and filling that calendar with things. All right, I'm going to move on to the 12th house. Also, sorry, moving back to the 11th house. Children could very well be indicated. There's there's defending your creative ideas with your associations and your friend group. So people might think what you're doing is silly. I would just be like, be playful right back. Embrace your creativity. I think that even if it does seem childish to other people, some of the most childish ideas became best-selling children's books, became TV shows, became, it's just, I would definitely go for it. You might have to hold your ground with one of your children this year because they might be a little bit stubborn, a little more individualistic, and very assertive in their own, which is great, but I feel like they're coming in being like, no, and you're like, yes. This is the way it's got to be. You might have to defend your children if they're a little older and they're in school, about any bullying that's going on, or not that I'm not saying that they will be bullied, but if they are being bullied at school, and it's been a thing in past, this year you may end up having to confront somebody or some situation and defend them, which is a tough job. Being a parent's a tough job, but seems like you'll definitely do what's right because it's such a happy card, the Sun card. It's like you're defending your sunshine. It's almost play fighting as well. Like it's playful roughhousing. Baseball. I'm seeing you might join a baseball. You might teach a little league. There's this playful, sporty kind of squaring off t-ball. There's also the ball in the hand, the bat in one hand. I see you might be defensive about your creations with your partner's family. Like if you were meeting them for the first time, they might say, oh, what are you into? Or, oh, I heard you're into this. Well, and it might be a little bit of the onion layers being peeled back, and you're like, God, I could cry right now. I really don't want to do this right now. Those intimate things, the things that you're really passionate about, just be playful back. Don't be rude. Don't know your boundaries. This is also setting up some boundaries with exposing things to people. So only share with what you want. Also, social media and kids. It's a weird topic to talk about. If your kids are really young, monitor their social media maybe. Put up a, like, you don't have to, like, necessarily watch, but there's, like, these, I guess there's, I'm not a parent, so I wouldn't know, but there's these, like, I think there's a setting or some kind of software you can download. Nothing, I don't see anything scary here. I just seeing, like, associations exposing your child to other associations. I guess it's just something that I, being the worrywart that I am, I always would just suggest that anyway. Nothing negative in the cards, just seeing associations and defending or putting some boundaries up with associations. So you might be actually telling your kids, like, I don't like that kid at school. He's not very nice to you, or we're not going to hang out with him anymore because I don't like how he treats you in this way, or I don't like how he treats your sister. You might be defending a friend, or defending your child to somebody else. And if you are having trouble and you work from home, your children will be a happy distraction for you. They'll keep you busy. And your children's friends will keep you busy. What else? And so overall, a year of planning, looking for the next piece of the pie. Don't worry too much, Capricorn. You always worry, especially when it comes to finances. You're building whatever you've started, whatever financial projects you're working on, are working to solidify. You are getting there. I wouldn't stress about it too much. In your spiritual house and hidden tendencies, you might be hiding that you can see something really awesome on the horizon from a partner or somebody that you love, because they've recently gone through divorce. So if you are going to have a baby, or you are going to get married, you may be keeping this from a friend this year because they are going through a loss of a relationship, or they wanted to have a baby but they just gone through a divorce instead of having a baby, or there's many different reasons. There's no wrong or right way to handle that. I think you just have to feel it out and be receptive to the other person. You gotta feel out the situation. Use past experiences to help you discern when's going to be a good time to talk about this with this person. Obviously, like, if you're truly part of somebody's life, you'll be able to share this information, and you should be able to share this information with somebody. So a new baby on the way, there's no need to be defensive or and maybe protecting somebody else's feelings about this. You're more worried about somebody else's feelings than your own. And I feel like if they're your friend, then they should be able to hear this beautiful news that you're giving them and not take it to heart because of their own situation. But I understand that there's a time and a place for everything. The other thing I see is you're receiving a gift from the universe after going through many severely painful things. It's like the gift of discernment, but heightened. It's like a spiritual gift. This could be that traditional thing that I talked about. There was there's a lot of ancestrage. I keep saying ancestor influence in this reading, energy in this reading. I feel like you're planning for the future and learning not to worry about the past. The here and now is where the future happens, right? Like, you can learn from the past, but don't worry about the past. So the 7, 8, 9. So there's financial independence here. There's just a little bit of juggling and waiting for it. And happy memories and celebration. Oh. All right, guys. Well, I hope that you have a great 2022. It really looks like this is a year of digging up some really cool information about your ancestry. Maybe getting some exciting news at work that maybe made you a little fearful at first, but then ends up being a great thing. I wouldn't get too much in your head about it. And if it isn't that great of a year at work, that's usually your forte, and the rest of your life is looking beautiful. So this might be the year that you get a break, you know? I wouldn't worry too much. You got victory, you've got happiness, you've got figuring out how things work in relationships and knowing how people are in their darkest of times and their lightest of times. There's tradition here, that's your thing. Structure, that's your thing. And there's a little bit of love like sewn through the whole thing. Kind of like I see like a family quilt. It's very multi-generational and new, old, and room for the future too. Like there's some empty spaces still for you to fill. In this web of life that you're weaving. It's like a loom, you know, like there's a string tied there. I feel like this is also very much like a loom. And there's like the string, the tassels there. Just waiting for the big picture to come together with something, probably in career. Rest looks good. All right, Capricorn, have a great 2022, and I will see you in January.